reactions that take place in our body, no, for living purpose. Okay. Any other character? Somebody else? Other character? Just a minute. What should I call you? Muzammil Basha or Muzammil or Basha? What should I call you? Anything. Okay, no problem. Okay. Yes. Any other point? What are the characteristics of growth? Sorry, characteristic of living organism. Anybody else? Yes, Varshita. They reproduce, right? Varshita, I'm not able to hear your voice clearly. Huh? They reproduce. So we will see the characteristics of living things. Have a look here. Can you all see the screen? Okay. So the characteristics are growth. All living organisms grow. You know, plants also grow, animals also grow. So that is the first feature of living organism that they grow. Reproduction. They are able to reproduce their offsprings. Okay, whether it is plant or whether it is animal, they are able to produce their offspring. In plants, you know, you sow the seed or you sow the vegetative part of a plant and then it grows. So that is reproduction. Then metabolism, that is a characteristic of living organism. So what is metabolism? It is the chemical reaction that take place inside the body of living organisms. That is metabolism. Okay. Again, chemical reactions taking place in the body of living organism. Because of those chemical reactions only the life is able to a person is able to survive, like digestion is taking place in your body. So all these, there are certain reactions that go on in your body. Then fourth point is cellular organization of the body. Now you know your body is made up of cell. Cell is the basic unit of life. So that is again a characteristic of living thing. Response to stimulus. What do you mean by stimulus? Anybody? What do you mean by stimulus? Instant reaction. Like touch me not. When you touch me not, it may be having a it may be the leaf they start they coiling. So that is response to stimulus. Okay, they are not able. Stimulus means you are responding to any change in the surrounding. That is stimulus. So stimulus is a response to change in the surrounding. So living organisms, they respond to stimuli. Then consciousness. Of course, consciousness, aware of what is happening in the surrounding. So that is a very important feature of a living organism, that you are becoming aware of what is happening in your surrounding. Even plants also, you cannot say that plants are not responding conscious about the surrounding. If it is too hot, some of the plants they dry up. So they are also responding to the changes in the environment. So that all comes under consciousness. So all these are characteristics of living things. So the word first topic that comes under this living world is biodiversity. Now what do you mean by bio? Bio means life. So bio means life. Diversity, variety, different varieties. So biodiversity means the different varieties of life forms. Okay, so variety of life forms existing on earth, that is called biodiversity. Okay, I repeat, the different variety of life forms existing on earth, they are called biodiversity. Now what does it help in? It helps to maintain the ecological balance on earth, like you have studied in your 10th standard, food chain, food web and all you have studied, no? So this biodiversity, it will help in different varieties of plants or different variety of animals, they are dependent on each other. So all that would help in maintaining a balance in the balance on earth. Like plants and animals, plants give out oxygen, and you take in oxygen, you give out carbon dioxide, plants take in carbon dioxide. So all that happens because of the different varieties of life forms that are present on the earth. Then it prevents species and extraction. So because of this variety of life forms, all the different species, they are able to survive. So the a word that is coming here, that is species. What do you mean by species? Anybody? What do you mean by species? Hmm. Hmm. Similar characteristics. We are also having eyes, nose, and mouth. A lion is also having. So are we of the same species? No. Then anything else? Anything else? What can be said about a species? Yes, tell me. What can be the main feature of species when we say a species of? Huh? Yes, Varshita. Varshita, louder. I'm not able to hear you. They live in a particular habitat. Okay, a cat also live along with us. We are also living. So we all are living in the same habitat. Are we of the same species? No. Then anything else? Any other feature you can say? Very. Yes, a species, when we talk about a species, the organisms in a species, they will be able to produce its offspring. Like a cat will give rise to a cat, give birth to a cat. It cannot give birth to a dog. So cat species is different, dog species is different. Human beings, they will give birth to a human being only. They cannot give birth to a dog or cat or something. So different species. When we talk about a species, they are a group of organisms that are able to reproduce its offspring. So they are able to reproduce their own offspring. Okay, so that is called a species. A giraffe will give birth to a giraffe only. Okay, so different types of giraffe, you can say they are of the same species. So a species is a biological species, a grouping of organisms that can interbreed and are reproductively isolated from other such groups. Species are recognized on the basis of their morphology. What do you mean by morphology? You will come across this word. Morphology means the external appearance, like the size, shape, and appearance. So that comes under morphology. And more recently by genetic analysis. Now in 12th standard you will be studying about genetics and all. That word will come in 12th standard. Now, for example, there are up to 20,000 species of butterfly. They are often very different in appearance and do not interbreed. So one species of butterfly cannot interbreed with the other species. So they all come under different species of butterfly only. Okay, all are coming under butterfly, but there are different species of butterfly. So one species of butterfly cannot interbreed or cannot reproduce offspring of the other type. So we will come to different terms that are there in this chapter. The first word is nomenclature. Nomenclature. What is nomenclature? It is the process of naming living organism. Now, like you are being given a name. Your parents have given you your name. Why have you been given a name? So that people can identify you, people can call you by name, people can know, yes, like this is Muzammil Basha or this is Varshita, like people can identify by your name. So same way, living organisms are also or should they should also be given some name. So nomenclature is the process of naming living organisms such that a particular organism is known by the same name all over the world. Now, there may be different names for, suppose we are talking about tiger. What is tiger called in Telugu? What is the name? Puli. Okay. Tiger is in Telugu we call it puli. In Hindi we call it. हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं उसको? हाँ? बाघ. Okay. In English में उसको tiger बोल दिया. Now if we go to different countries, if we go to some other country, they will have different name for tiger. Now, now, now if you go, you call that पुली, call tiger पुली. और तुम लोग जाओगे अभी suppose तुम लोग गए north में कहीं पे, and then you go there and you suppose a tiger is coming to attack you and you are running saying that पुली पुली पुली. किसी को समझ में आएगा कि पुली तुमको पुली कौन है? नहीं समझ में आएगा. तो क्या होगा? पुली आके तुमको खा के चला जाएगा, है ना? लोगों को समझ में नहीं आएगा तुम पुली किसको बुला रहे हो. So that name is different in different places. So for that a common name is given. A common name is given to the organisms. That name should be common throughout the world. Okay, not with the same name every person in the world can identify, yes, this is that organism. So that is called nomenclature. So how it is done, we will be seeing that. So what is nomenclature? It is the process of naming living organisms such that a particular organism is known by the same name all over the world. That is nomenclature. Then identification. Identification is describing an organism correctly so that the organism can be named. For like you all are being kept in 11th A. Okay, so how you people have been identified that you all are in science stream. So that is why you have been identified you all are in science stream, and then you have been put in 11th thing. So it is first the characters are taken and first you identify an organism and then you put them in a particular group and then you give a name to that group. So that is called identification. So identification is describing an organism correctly so that the organism can be named. That is identification. Now, we will come to a term that is binomial nomenclature. What did I say? What is nomenclature? I just now told you. What is nomenclature? What is nomenclature? Name. Yes. Naming of organism. Nomenclature, वो बस word से याद रखना, ये याद रखना, nomenclature means naming. Okay. So, nomenclature is naming. So, it is a system. Now, what do you mean by the word binomial? Bi मतलब bi क्या होगा? Two. So binomial means you are using two components. Okay? Two components in naming. Now, see in biology, whenever you are studying anything, you should know the meaning of the word. If you know the meaning of the word, you automatically you can describe it what it is. So binomial nomenclature means two components for naming. Okay, that is binomial nomenclature. So it is a system of providing a scientific name with two components of a living organism. Okay, it is a system of providing a scientific name with two components of a living organism. What is the scientific name of human being? Homo sapiens. Yes, Homo sapiens. So throughout the world, Homo sapien is the name that is given to human being. So look at an example here. Scientific name of tiger is Panthera tigris. Okay. Now, what is Panthera? It is the name of the genus or generic genus, species, and all. We will be seeing that. It's detail. We will be seeing that. Now, you just know how is a name given to an organism. Scientific name is given by using two components: generic name and specific epithet. Generic name means the name of the genus and specific epithet means the name of the species. I repeat, generic name means the name of the genus and specific epithet means the name of the species. So look here, I have written here Panthera tigris. Panthera tigris. P is capital here, T is small here. So Homo sapiens also when we write as H capital, S small. So this name of the species should always be written in small letter, and P, that is the name of the genus Panthera, it should be written in capital letter. So this is the way how you write the name, scientific name of any organism should be written in this manner, Panthera tigris. Okay, so what are the rules for nomenclature? To write this scientific name, there are certain rules. So what are the rules? They are generally written in Latin. You know Latin? Latin, you know? Sir? Language. Earlier, older language. So they are generally written in Latin. They are written in italics or underline. You can see here I have underlined it. Or if it is not underlined, it can be written in italics. You understand, no? Italics, you understand. Sideways, slanting letters are there. That is italics. Then the first word represent genus. That is why that is what I told you. This first word that represents genus, while the second word represents the specific epithet. This second word it represents the specific epithet. Genus starts with a capital letter. As I told you, genus this one. It starts with a capital letter, while species with a small letter. Okay, this is tigris. T is for small letter. So here an example is given. Scientific name of mango is Mangifera indica. Here, Mangifera means what? That is the name of genus. And indica, name of species. Okay. Again, humans, Homo sapiens. Homo is the name of genus, and sapiens is the name of specific epithet of species. Okay. So you write genus name in capital letter and species name in small letter. Okay. Now, what is the need for this classification? Why are we doing all this thing? Why are we giving the name? And what is the need for all this classification? Now, suppose in our school there are so many students. Okay. Now, all the students, if they are kept together in one class, and there are first standard students, second, third, all are kept in the one class, will it be easy for them to study? No. So, we have to classify them according to their age. Like 6 years student, they will go to first standard. 15 years will go to 10th standard. So different, while taking admission in KV, what is done, 5 to 7 years is given as the age for admission to first standard. So that group of children, they go into one class, that is class one. So why is it done? Because if like suppose a principal has to call a child. So if the child if you call Mahesh of KV Angul, we don't know Mahesh is in which class, which section, and all we don't know. So what has to be done? We have to find out which class and which section this Mahesh is there. Suppose Mahesh is in 8th standard C section. So Mahesh of 8th standard C section. Then it is easy to find out that person. Okay, similarly here also, when we talk about living organism, there is a wide variety of living organism. That is why biodiversity. So there is a wide variety of living organism, and we have to find out some way in which we are going to name that organism, and we have to identify that organism. So that can be done easily only if it is classified. So that is the need for classification. Okay, so this is an important point, need for classification. It is not possible to study about each existing living organism in detail. Okay, each like a lizard, like ant, like fly, all these different, so many organisms are there, and there are many organisms which we don't know the names. So to study about each living organism, it is very difficult. So that is why classification is needed. Classifying organisms in groups make it easy to know about different life forms. Suppose like mammals. What is the main feature of mammals? What is the main feature of mammals? Anybody? They reproduce. You cannot say reproduce. Another word for that. They Okay, they are viviparous. That is, they give birth to babies. Okay, that is mammals. So all animals which give birth to babies, they are classified as mammals. So that becomes easy, to make to write its characters. Like all the mammals are put in one group, so we can write it. We can understand their characters. So classifying organisms in groups make it easy to know about different life forms. Classification helps to understand the evolution of all life forms to a large extent. So you can understand the evolution also. Like, the first organism that was evolved, that was bacteria, then slowly fishes, aquatic organisms, then slowly the evolution take place. So we are able to classify based on their evolution. We can understand, based on classification, we can understand that which organism evolved first, which organism evolved later, that can be understood. Scientific naming of an organism is based on classification, as I told you earlier. The more basic character should be considered for classification, as I gave you an example just now of mammals. So, those organisms which give birth to baby, they are put in one group. So that becomes easy. Okay, so the more basic character. What is the more basic character of mammal? They give birth to babies. So that can be put in one group. So that all these more common characters, they are grouped together and they are put in one group. Like aquatic animals, fishes, starfish, all these jellyfish, they live in water. So we can put them in aquatic organism. Now there are still more divisions are there. We will be seeing that. Okay, so that is a need for classification. There are still more things we will be studying. This much, this is enough for you today. You should be able to learn this much today. Now whatever I have taught now, I will give the notes of that. I'll put the screenshot of this in the group. You will make, as I told you, you will make a small not a small notebook, a big notebook for classwork, a notebook for homework, and you will complete the notes. Children, one thing you note that whatever I have given today, try to complete that day itself. If you keep it pending, the whole thing would be again pending. I think 10th B students, last year's 10th B, I've been telling them. So bio students, if you are not going to do today, you will keep it pending, and later you won't understand what you have studied. So whatever I taught you today, when you write it today, you will become 70% perfect. Okay, then you can revise it. Okay, so this much is enough for today. All of you go through it. I'll put it in the group. All of you go through it, and then we will continue the class. Before I stop, one question. What is nomenclature? Shyam, tell me what is nomenclature? What is nomenclature? Just a revision of what we have taught, seen now. What is nomenclature? Forgot it. So, Karunya, process of naming. Shyam, what were you doing? Naming, nomenclature. N, याद रखना. Nomenclature and naming N. So nomenclature means naming an organism. Okay. Um, Rufus, tell me in Mangifera indica, what is the name of genus and what is the name of species? Uh, you can see the screen, Mangifera indica. Okay. Okay, very good. So Mangifera indica, Mangifera is the genus name and indica is the species name. Okay, good. So did you all understand what we have studied today? Have you understood? Understood, no? I'll put the notes in the group, complete that work. Okay? Okay, children, we'll see tomorrow at what is the time I told you tomorrow? 10:10. Okay, tomorrow at 10:10 we'll see. I'll put the link in the group. Okay, then, children, bye.